Hello and welcome back to the Budget Knitter podcast channel. My name is WSpargurKnits. I am your host. I am coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, and today I am going to do another yarn review. So I've been doing this kind of thing where I'm trying to review yarns from big box stores because well, you guys watch me because I try to focus on the budget side of knitting. So I do have this lovely stash behind me. Most of it was donated to me, so I'm very grateful for that. But that is kind of the only reason that I have some of these nice things, is because they were given to me. So I, like many of the people that I seem to meet on my fiber journey, shop at big box stores like Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and Walmart. And I find that this is a very common thing, and it's actually more common than those who seem to be kind of elitist in the fiber arts community. And so today is going to be my third yarn review, and we're going to do this on Loops and Threads Woolike. This is one of my favorite yarns because it's super affordable and you get so much for your money. I mean, this is probably definitely one of the best values that you can get. Now, so a little bit about the specs. Again, so Loops and Threads Woolike, that's W-O-L-L-I-K-E. It is 678 yards or 620 meters. It is 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. It is 85% acrylic and 15% nylon. The gauge that it calls for is a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and this actually doesn't mention, oh here it is, or a 2.75 millimeter knitting needle, which is a US 2. The gauge for that is you should have 32 stitches and 42 rows in a 4 inch by 4 inch or 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter swatch. And for the hook, it actually doesn't give the gauge for the hook. It just says 3.5 millimeter. In the US, that's an E or a 4. So it doesn't actually give the gauge for the crochet hook. It is a number 1 in terms of yarn, so that it is a super fine. Most people would consider this a light fingering. It is very, very thin. I wouldn't consider it quite fingering weight. Fingering weight is a little bit thicker. It's, I don't know how well of an example I'm going to be able to show you. So this is fingering weight. And this is Woolike. Let's see if I can get a little closer here. So fingering weight Woolike. It is just a little bit thinner, but not so much that you're going to notice a huge difference. Oh shoot, let me see if I can get this back here without making stuff fall over. So I actually really love this. I've used it for several projects, but the first thing I ever used it for was socks. And here I have those. Well, I have a pair. I did make a pair. And I knit these in purple. This I used on a US 1, and it was a 9-inch circular. I think I did like 90 stitches, and then I decreased to 72 for the foot. And I did a fish lips kiss heel on this sock, or on this pair of socks, which, by the way, not a huge fan of the fish lips kiss heel. The funny thing is, now that I go back and kind of look at that heel, I might want to try it again. Anyway, so this is Woolike. This I knit maybe a year ago or so. Super soft, super durable. You can throw it right in the washer and the dryer. I haven't had a single issue. I've only worn these a couple of times because I was still so new to sock knitting that I didn't, it didn't knit up quite the right way that I wanted it to fit. They still fit. I think one of them's just a little smaller than the other. Not a big deal. I might knit another pair out of these at some point. But my favorite thing about Woolike is that they come in just solid colors. But again, 678 yards. And that's an incredible amount of yardage. I think a regular skein of fingering weight is 437. I think that's the standard, is 437 yards. So you're getting more than 200 more yards And this, at my local Michael's, is $2.99 a skein. So definitely a great deal. $3 for 678 yards of a fingering weight yarn. Fantastic. Another thing that I knit out of this was the Scania Shawl, which was a Grocery Girls Off Our Needles podcast, the Craftsy channel thing they do. They had a knit along with the Scania Shawl, and I actually knit the Scania out of this yarn. And the Scania is actually a marled shawl with a really beautiful faux cable border. And so you hold two sets of fingering weight yarn double, and you do it in a certain number of rows to change the colors. It creates a really cool effect. I don't have it with me because it was a birthday present for my grandmother, but it was very, very beautiful. You can actually check out this podcast. I'll link the podcast that I talked about it in. That's going to be in the video description box below, so if you want to go and see that. I'll also link my Ravelry page for that project so you can see that shawl. But very beautiful, very soft, very lightweight. But again, what I love about it is it's machine washable. It's not gonna tear up in your washer and dryer. And that's one of my favorite things about acrylic yarns, is that you can wash and dry these. It's great for gift giving. It's great for charity knitting or charity crafting. And I'm actually looking at doing a little bit more of that. But back to the colors. So they come in solid colors only, as far as I know. I haven't seen them in any kind of striped or speckled or anything like that. But they come in I'm going to say kind of like darker colors. I haven't really noticed anything super bright, but I kind of noticed them in kind of the more neutral range. So I've had brown, white, gray, navy blue, black, this kind of deep red, which is mauve. So I have that. I don't remember if I have the socks I knit. I was actually going to show you how much I had left, but I think, wait, nope, this is it. And I think I've used some other stuff, done some other stuff with this. But a pair of socks, and I still had this much left over, which is probably, well, this isn't very heavy, it's really lightweight, so this is probably about 5 to 10 grams. So there's plenty there to do something else with, tie it in with maybe another shawl or something like that. Now, because it is so thin, and of course I was using a US 1, so the stitches are really, really close together. But, you know, since it's thinner, you're going to use more of it to get the same distance. But I don't see that as a problem. I actually really, really enjoyed the knit. The only thing I didn't enjoy was, of course, the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. And I think it's just because I didn't really know what I was doing. It was the first time I had tried it. I had only knit a couple pairs of socks. Anyway, you're not here to listen to me rant about how bad I was at knitting socks. So, Loops and Threads Woolike, you can get it in a variety of colors. You can get it at Michael's that I know of. I think you can also get it at Joann's. It is $2.99 a ball, at least at my local Michael's. It might be a little more, a little less, depending on where you live. But it is definitely one of my favorite yarns. I definitely encourage you to check it out if you haven't. And if you have used it, leave me a comment below and tell me what you made with it. And if you haven't used it, let me know whether or not you're interested. And yeah, so Loops and Threads, Woolike, go check it out. Find it at your local big box craft store. That's all for my review. And I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to posting my next review for you. Bye.